good afternoon, and welcome to another exciting episode of Entab CampusCare EdTalks, a platform where educators express their viewpoints on burning topics related to education. All children have the right to education, but what is the factor that can engage students more effectively and ease the challenges of learning? It is undoubtedly the classroom communication. It is believed that a seamless classroom communication can bring sea changes in a classroom. To say minimum, it can create an environment that students can thrive and prosper and learn in. To understand the needs of a classroom communication and find out ways to make it more fruitful, we have with us a dynamic group of edu leaders. Now let's introduce you to our guests. We have an educator who has devoted over 18 years in the field of education, where she has taught and headed various divisions to gain rich experience both nationally and internationally. She has been a part of GEMS Education Abu Dhabi, Indian School, Rajguru International School Dubai, after starting her career as a lecturer in the Center of Teacher Education, University of Kerala. With this, I would like to welcome Anita Renu George, ma'am, Principal, Aspire Residential Public School, Kerala. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
We welcome you to Campus Care EdTalks, ma'am. Next, we have another experienced educator. She is a repository of experience, knowledge, and skills of 18 years in education field across various boards, leading the topmost school in Kalyan, the Cambria International School, is exclusively for the IGCSE curriculum. She is always a savior, and her attitude, her never to die attitude, makes her a beacon source of light and motivation. With this, I would welcome Heena S. Falke, ma'am, Principal, Cambria International School, Kalyan. Welcome, ma'am. We welcome all the viewers also who are watching our show. And to all the viewers, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so you can get regular updates for more exciting episodes like these. So, as we begin, Anita ma'am, creating a dialogue with students can be as difficult as we think, but harmonious classroom communication is absolutely necessary for the time. So, what are the challenges and obstructions that teachers are facing in breaking the ice? Please, ma'am, put some light over this.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'm delighted and proud to represent Aspire Residential Public School, Kochi, on this episode of Entab EdTalk. Well, classroom challenges are one of the diverse problems faced by teachers, and teachers must have the courage to overcome all these challenges bravely. Some of the common classroom challenges faced by teachers include balancing diverse learning needs, lack of good and expected response from students. Then we have challenges related to completion of the content. And the topic in focus for today's discussion, the communication within the classroom. Creating dialogue between your students can be a challenging yet fundamental part of teaching. Effective communication can help to build foster a safe learning environment where students can thrive, prosper, and learn. Breaking the ice in a new environment can be a harrowing experience for many. Even for us adults, it can be an arduous task. The beginning of the new academic year is the most challenging time for both new students and new teachers. Getting to know each child, his or her background, ability, likes, dislikes, strengths, weakness, areas of interest, etc., is the underlying duty of every teacher taking up a new class. Every child who walks through the door to your class is different. They have different expectations from the teacher. Treating every child as your own, respecting his or her individuality, and trying to understand the unique personality of a child and that too with patience. That's what each teacher has to do. If a child is shy to open up, accept that. Be empathetic and slowly build confidence and trust. From the child's point of view, the fear of being ridiculed, fear of making a mistake, being conscious of oneself, fear of being rejected by the peers, etc., are the major obstacles in the new environment. The benefits of fostering a deep bond with the teacher and building a relationship of confidence and trust enables the students to freely discuss thoughts and ideas and create an open environment in which questions can be asked without the risk of being judged or humiliated. The child should feel fearless, secure, and comfortable to communicate to the teacher, and invariably, learning becomes a joyful experience for him or her.
Very rightly said. Rightly said, ma'am. So, ma'am, as Anita ma'am expressed her thoughts, Heena ma'am, as we talk about the current scenario, virtual classroom communication is a very new experience for the students. What is the response and the efficacy? What are the outcomes suggesting? What is your opinion about it, ma'am? Heena ma'am, you have muted. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. First of all, I am really happy to represent the Cambria International School, Kalyan. Yes, very rightly said by Ms. Anita that there are challenges already in the physical functioning school. And since it has gone virtual, it has been challenging in the beginning, a lot of challenging in the beginning, considering that the courses were planned for the face to face situations. And nobody was ready for that and are now in the transition of remote classroom. So, in other words, it was not planned, and the teachers faced a lot of challenges. But having said that, once, whether it is online or offline, if we get the teachers trained to, deal with the students, build rapport with them, every day give them new experiences because children are very curious and they get exhausted or bored very easily. So that is why it is very, very important to keep them engaged. And when the classes are online, it is all the more difficult or I would say challenging to keep them engaged online. So the teachers have to go an extra mile to prepare their lessons accordingly so that the children wait for the new classes. And I would say that, skillful sailors are made only in the sea full of storm. So this pandemic has come like a storm to everybody, which has made specifically the teachers slowly and gradually the skillful sailors. And as it is very rightly said that when there is a will, there is a way out for sure. So whatever learning outcomes we have chalked out for the physical classes, that is the face-to-face classes, we have managed to balance that even during the online classes. Now, during the online classes, it has to be a combination of lot of activities, giving them pre activities before the lesson would start, and then to check their understanding, the post activities that the children do, and then after that, checking their understanding, dealing them one to one, and then building a trust and confidence amongst the students that nothing is wrong if the teachers are prepared with their lessons very truthfully. They can definitely make a better teaching learning environment even during the learning online classes. See, every situation has its pros and cons, and it would continue to be. I'm sure it would continue to be. And what we educators have to remember is may what be the situation, there should not be any curfew on learning. The entire world can go on curfew, but the learning should not stop. And anyhow, we should equip and adapt ourselves to make students future ready. And if we are passionate about making students future ready, there are way outs, there are solution outs, there are companies who gives you solutions. So we have to, keep our eyes open to learning, so that we make our children learn new things and get adapted to the situation. This is
Yes,
what I believe.
yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Entab is actually providing solutions to provide the make the children future ready.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So, as ma'am said, that classroom to improve the performance, we need the virtual classrooms. So, I am certain that both the panelists agree to the fact that classroom communication improves the academic performance and personal growth. As a school leader, what are your suggestions about this, Anita ma'am?
Yes, academic success indeed depends on solid communication skills, beginning with clear oral communication, which plays a huge role in the learning process. Students are often called upon in class to answer questions. We all know that.
Yes,
These questions may range from those with simple factual answers to questions that involve putting thoughts together and even making arguments. Students with oral challenges may become embarrassed if they are unable to communicate in par with their peers. If a student stutters or mumbles, they may become fearful of speaking up again in class, and this in turn can lead to lowered, diminished self-esteem, which can even leave a lifelong scar in the young minds. A student who can effectively ask questions and get help from a teacher will often be more successful than students who remain silent even when they are unsure of what is being asked of them. My suggestions for the teachers out there, we need to accept a child for his or her ability, and in other words, accept their uniqueness. Try to develop their skills in the best possible way by creating a personal connection. Then you have to make every child feel special, secure, and important. Trust me, it will do wonders for opening a free channel of communication. The child should feel fearless to express his or her thoughts in the classroom without being hesitant or being ridiculed. Apart from verbal communication, teachers should also look out for non-verbal communication or the silent language of the students. In cases like where the child needs support or is in distress, non-verbal cues can come to your aid. In addition, also I would like to add, if the skill of non-verbal communication is practiced by teachers, it will have a positive and profound effect on the student's readiness to learn. Thus, classroom communication has a profound effect on the overall growth of a child. These are my suggestions.
yes, ma'am. Classroom communication do have an effect on the growth of the child. So, as we were talking about the communication system, Gen Z kids have an enormous scope for communicating and collaboration with the world beyond the classroom. But then directing them through is necessary. So, Heena ma'am, how should a teacher redefine their role as a facilitator and enabler? Would how we would request your opinions on this, ma'am.
Sure, sure. See, the Gen X learners, or Gen Z, you call Gen Z learners, have access to a lot of information comparatively to what we had during our time. So a teacher should keep updating herself and act as a facilitator to guide the kids in the correct direction. There is lot of information available everywhere, like on the online, they Google things, and there are a lot of apps of learning that they go through. But which one to choose? That guidance has to be there throughout for these learners, the Gen Z learners that you call them, to choose the correct option Now, what happens is the teacher has to be a facilitator, not only a facilitator, but also a mentor, but with much flexibility. Flexibility is required for to help the student to understand things, and it should be student-centered approach from the teacher's end. The teacher has to be little approachable, more approachable in fact, to understand the need of the students and then guide them. But at the same time, they should not forget to be self-disciplined, because students are very observant. Whatever the teacher does, they look at the teacher and then they try to copy the teacher, and then they talk about the teacher. So if she wants to instill some values in the students, she has to be first self-disciplined, and that needs to be projected. The student should understand. So there has to be a line of respect between the student and the teacher. It is very often seen that there are some teachers who forget the difference between being friendly and being a friend. You can be friendly to a student, but you cannot become a friend to the student, because otherwise, suppose I give you an example. If you become a friend to the student, then what happens is your authority is challenged at that point of time. So being a facilitator and a mentor is a very good thing, and it is the need of the hour in today's scenario, because you have to capture the attention and you have to ensure that learning is taking place, but a balance always should be maintained. So, good rapport building, then creating a safe environment for the child, being disciplined and firm, very, very important. The student should listen to you. If you're not firm and if you're not disciplined, why the student is going to listen to you in the first place? So that is why these kind of things needs to be taken care of, and we spend more time setting up researches and exercises or giving them homework, and making them do research, allowing them to use Google, and we don't give them enough time to teach them how to critically analyze the information that they get. So the teacher needs to instill the curiosity and give them a correct direction so that the student gets the maximum benefit, whether it is an online teaching or learning process happening or it is offline. Of course, the teacher has to be a facilitator and a mentor and use some tactics to guide correctly. And for that, a teacher also has to be always updated with the new skills, with the new technology that is coming up, with the new situation, to balance the children's mental pressure as well. This is what I think about this.
Very
Thank you.
rightly said. It is only you educators that the students look up to nowadays, ma'am. It is the time where technology and educators have to blend in and teach the students something. So, as
So,
we speak of the times today, as you're speaking about technology, schools have to gear up on adopting technology in primary and secondary education. So, how are schools bracing up for it, Anita, ma'am?
Yes. In fact, I feel the COVID situation, which we have been talking about,
Yes.
has been a blessing in disguise to open the world of technological capabilities to aid teaching. This was seldom explored by the majority of Indian schools, in my opinion. We have had teachers who were not even well versed with using a word processor or Excel sheet. There has been a huge leap for these categories to succumb to the needs of the time. There's no other way out. By taking away burdens on redundant jobs with technology, teachers can utilize their time much efficiently to engage and inspire students. In fact, Aspire has taken this initiative to create quality content and make a digital repository of innovative teaching materials and teaching sessions. All this happened just because of this particular situation that we are facing now. Making the parents aware of the basics of virtual classroom was also a challenge. We have conducted online awareness workshop series for parents. Over the months, looking back, I feel very happy, by the way. at the way that parents have accepted the new normal. Coming to schools, schools need to start financing of digital curriculum and materials like digital libraries, lessons or learning items, etc. In fact, if you look at it, teaching the curriculum to students is a repetitive job. And we have raised a redundant pattern to this. Every year, the same thing being repeated. I feel anything that is redundant can be and should be replaced with technology. With modern technology, when it comes to information sharing, a teacher becomes rather irrelevant because information can be easily made available. What is needed from a teacher is inspiration and guidance to find the best in each student. So schools need to try and create more of the inspired and passionate teachers. That is my opinion.
Very rightly said, ma'am. And I hope your message is reaching the right ears and our viewers are actually learning as much as we are. So, Hina, ma'am, what is your take on technology? How do you think has technology been a boon or a bane for the classrooms on the scenario today?
Um, See, it has been a boon for the present scenario. But to prepare our children for future careers, a student needs to a holistic education that includes practical vocational skills, communication strategies, leadership development. As more value is placed on soft skills these days, research suggests that higher levels of emotional intelligence are also linked with better leadership and ability to cope with pressure. So that is why, along with the technology, a lot of other things is required as a combination for the students to make them a workforce in the future. It is very, very important because creating counseling laboratories also can be one of the options. Now, curriculum has to be inclusive, wherein you are developing the communication, you are making them tech savvy and ethically tech savvy. There has to be some ethics to use the technology as well. Technology is made for us. We are not made for the technology. So we have to use technology in the correct way. And the little learners, the young minds would not know it unless and until they are guided by the teachers who become the facilitators and mentors. So in the coming future, if you see the research says that getting a good job has already become very difficult over the years, and as subsequent cohorts of students leaving the school or university are failing to find a good job. Now, why? Because somewhere down the line, the skills to tackle a particular job is missing. Now, who should do that? Who should become the means to it, not the end to it? This is what I feel. And because recent graduates typically lack significant work experience, employers are looking for other indicators. So, when a school decides to utilize technology or to give the exposure of technology to the students from the school age now, because of the pandemic, because of this uncertain scenario, every student, like from preschool to grade 12, now they're used to technology. In my school, we have also adopted a blended curriculum approach, the Cambria International School, wherein we are giving them a lot of entertaining experience to understand learning and then to retain learning. It is very, very important. If they retain the learning that has taken place even during online, we will definitely get the results. So, when a school decides to opt for technology, which is now incumbent, we cannot run away from it. Now this is like we breathe air, water. We need air, water, and food for our existence. Technology is the fourth factor, which has become after Corona. This has become very, very important. So each and everybody has to adapt to technology, and in the beginning, as I said, that it was very difficult for everybody, the school, the teachers, the students, the non-teaching staff, and even the parents. Because when we had chosen the online platforms, and we had to convince the parents that yes, learning will take place. And through your platform, I would like to convey to you that we are very fortunate that we are successful because of the blended curriculum approach that we have utilized during the online teaching learning process. Today, we are functioning our school even during online classes as we were functioning during the offline classes. We have conducted our exams successfully, we have conducted our assessment successfully, we have done all our festivals and celebration and big events only because we have chosen the right direction and right kind of platform to give learning to the students. So this is what my input for this is.
So, ma'am, as you said, blended learning is the need of the hour. But with the
Yes.
present, we have to think about the future also. So, Anita, ma'am, our viewers would love to know that preparing the children that are future ready has become absolutely necessary. So, what are the avenues that schools are exploring in promoting the life skills and workforce preparation for the children today?
Yes, well, for this, I feel we will need to really understand what the future needs. Today's students face a technology infused, innovation filled world in their future. We are already looking at the possibility of widespread smart houses, autonomous cars, artificial intelligence that can talk to us and work on our behalf. Our parents and grandparents' curriculum won't be sufficient. So, with the technological boom that has come in and the way in which it is progressing, machines will replace most of the routine, repetitive, and predictable work humans are doing with better efficiency and accuracy. Regular reports warn us that chances for an automation apocalypse is high. Recently, a study conducted by McKinsey and Company found out that 30% of tasks in 60% of occupations could be taken over by technology. Today's technological revolution is entirely different from the industrial revolution. The pace of change is exponentially faster and wider in scope. We cannot train our kids for careers or job opportunities that do not even exist today. We can just equip them with the necessary skills needed to face the world and be ready to face any challenging situation and become problem solvers. We cannot predict the students' needs after 20 years, and neither we can we prepare them fully for it. Who knows, we might all have 7 or 8 jobs with the average adults working for a number of companies simultaneously rather than working for one big organization. We don't know. So, what can we do today then? First of all, I feel we need to establish a culture of creativity. Intellectual capital is often just as valuable a commodity as physical products, I feel. Going forward in this realm, students will be able to cash in on creativity as a currency. Give opportunities for students to find solutions to problems that do not have clear cut answers, like having novel approaches, such as conducting what we have done at Aspire is conducting STEAM sessions, then varied debates, discussions, etc., even through online platforms. Next, I feel we need to pursue success through collaboration. As our world moves towards the future, we are going to increasingly rely on others to get things done. That was not the case when we were, students. The phrase better together is significant in the field of education right now. Have students solve problems in groups, then help them reflect on their collaborative process and even how it can be improved. That can be done. Third thing is we can provide opportunities for students to interact with entrepreneurs and innovators as well as professionals from various fields. This will definitely motivate the young minds and make them understand and explore various life situations. At Aspire, our sessions on interaction with professionals give opportunities for the students to conduct interviews and learn from them. It's really an effective learning experience for our children. When students have influential ideas, we can that can help others. Let's not encourage them and keep it quiet. On the other hand, we need to help them out to find ways and share those ideas. Educators can start a blog or a YouTube channel. Now we can see many and create valuable content that connects with people or helps them to solve their problems. And like that, students they do not need to wait until they are grown up to influence change or share their ideas. They'll realize that they have the power to make the change they want to see in the world. They themselves have the power as a student. Then institutions, along with providing education, can encourage students to do volunteer work even to create awareness about the environment and the society they live in. Because I believe that it is vital for the young generation to respect nature and care about nature and its beings in this era of technology. When we run after technology, we shouldn't forget that after all, we are all in this nature and we need to take care of nature. So that also can make our children future ready.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts on making the students future ready for today. But as you know, creating a healthy dialogue between students, innovating pedagogies, redesigning assignments are a few issues that require more attention. So, Heena, ma'am, how to redesign these things?
First of all, to redesign everything, maybe creating dialogue between the students, innovating pedagogies, it is of utmost importance. And to redesign everything, the curriculum framework should refer to skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, teamwork, communication, negotiation, which, yes, we at Cambria International School also give a lot of opportunity to our learners. Even during this particular online classes that are going on, we have conducted various workshops like design thinking, which is the need of the hour, where our students had designed multiple new, very new, innovative, creative projects for the society. So this has to be instilled from the very beginning, that is from the primary school years. So slowly and gradually it will develop, and the children can, work towards being an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is going to be a 21st century skill. And also the STEM, the STEM curriculum. The STEM curriculum needs to be incorporated. Digital entrepreneurship is one thing, and also the cultural awareness. I really feel about the children who are socially, economically disadvantaged students, who are almost three times more likely than their peers to meet their given baselines as well. But at international schools, where the children are lucky enough to access everything, even their learning is happening day by day. So these students who are getting trained online, they should think about the society. So for them to become global citizens and world citizens, they should create something for these economically backward students specifically. So all these, pedagogies needs to be utilized. These outcomes are quite alarming, and the distance between educational vision and current teaching practice can be bridged only through the adoption and use of appropriate pedagogy that has been tested and proven to contribute to develop a person as a whole. We cannot uh, we cannot just depend only on technology, and we cannot leave technology as well. So from the beginning, I'm trying to tell you that there has to be a balance between usage of technology and understanding the social and cultural skills as well, because the workforce that is going to come, which was very rightly pointed out as well, today and in the past also, people used to change the jobs. They used to change from one place to another place. Like, for example, if there is a teacher, she would leave a school and go to a different school. If there is an engineer, he would be leaving one company, joining another company for better prospects. But in the upcoming future, the students are going to switch professions. So there is going to be multiple professions. So, as a school, as a visionary school, when we think about it, so robotics, digital thinking, design thinking, creative thinking, problem solving skills needs to be merged with the curriculum for us to give the students an exposure for the future that is about to come. Then, along with this, many schools have already started using artificial intelligence in education. Now, going ahead is what going to happen is post-human perspective is also going to come. Now, you all are aware about the chatbots,
Yes.
right? You type out an information, you get an answer from the chatbot, right? So that is going to come into the school as well. Then learning through open data. There are many universities, there are many schools who keep their data open, and they prefer that the students learn through the data, and then they count the viewer. Datafication. Datafication will be another important aspect that is going to be a strong factor that would help students to develop work in that context. Then social justice pedagogy. I'm sure we as human beings, there could be some, people who would like to have that, there has to be some justice, like this should be this way and this should be that way. So study about social justice pedagogy is also going to take over. So the school, which is a developing school, and the companies that are developing companies, they have to think about all these things. Then engaging with data ethics, as I told in the beginning, that we are exposed to a lot of data and information. So how to use that data ethically is also one aspect to learn about and to train the students upon that. So, and then esports. Nowadays, now see, during the pandemic, everything has become electronic sports, right? So gaming, game zones, and everything has come into picture. So for that also, our curriculum should work towards those lines. Then learning from animations, like difficult topics like blood circulation. It can be very well taught through animation, isn't it?
Yes.
And there are companies like you who have already worked upon that, and the schools have opted for those.
Yes.
So, and then multisensory approaches, 4D, 5D, we never know 7D, 9D, 10D, what comes in the picture, wherein, education will completely 360-degree changes, and the students will have access to learn things at the snap of their fingers. So the school has to be adaptive to adopt all these technological advances and give correct guidance to the students. Then off network learning. No, because as we are seeing it most of the time, today also we were checking whether cameras are working or no, whether the internet connection is correct or no, whether we'll be able to go online or no. So because of this study also will have to be merged with the curriculum, wherein students we should be able to access the data even when the internet is not available. So these are the some important innovative ideas that should be merged along with the curriculum, not from the higher school level, but from the primary and pre-primary levels, so that the students and the teachers become well equipped and they become future ready. This is what I wanted to tell about. Thank you.
Thank you, Heena ma'am, for sharing your vision with us. And as you said, yes, NTAB is making the required changes to make education as uh, indulging, as futuristic as possible. So, ma'am, as you're talking about communications, we all know in this COVID time, communication has actually become very important. It is very important to connect effectively with the guardians also. So, ma'am, school automation softwares help in a big way. So, Anita ma'am, what are your expectations with the emerging technologies as to connect with the guardians, to connect with the parents, etc.?
Yes, technology and internet help us complete the time consuming jobs quite faster and with higher accuracy level. Diverse softwares are now available to help with essential functioning and running of a school. Years back, it was not even heard of. Mainly, they help to bridge the communication gap. And we can communicate with the parents and with our colleagues, with each other quickly and efficiently. A short text can communicate the key message to the parents. Most of the school management software nowadays provide mobile apps, which also facilitates communication in a better way. We have seen parents, they can quickly interact with school administration and teachers. They will also get regular online updates and clear information about students' attendance and progress reports of their kids. In short, it should save time and it should increase productivity. Reliable school management systems that are customizable can save a lot of time and paperwork for teachers. This time can be utilized to create new teaching plans, or even it can be invested on planning activities that help kids to learn some difficult lessons in a much easier way. I feel, in a nutshell, the advantages of a school automation software are tremendous and cover all areas of the organization, right from administration department to teaching learning. It helps in maintaining connectivity and it should avoid unwanted wastage of time and resources. These are my views.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And yes, today technologies are actually been a beacon of support and actually come into the limelight for today's time. It is a necessity today to make the world a global village. Yes, it is required. So, as we come to the end of this webinar, before closing, Hina ma'am, could you please provide us with some closing remarks?
Sure. Before closing, I would like to add on to my expectations about the expectations with automation software. I would
Yes.
like to add two, three lines about that.
Yes.
Actually, automation software should be bring all stakeholders of the organization on one single platform. It is very important. It should not be like that, that for teaching we have to opt for another platform, for making question paper we have to go for another platform, for delivering lecture we have to go for another platform, which we have been experiencing in this COVID situation. So one is that it should be user friendly. It should not be very difficult to use or utilize it. It should be the parents also should be able to handle it. The students should be able to handle it. The teacher should be able to handle it very easily. There should be a user directory instilled in the software, so that if suppose a user is getting stuck somewhere and not able to move further, there has to be directory in the software so that it makes the teaching learning process easy. This was my expectation with the automation software that you had asked a previous question
Yes.
about. Coming to the closing of the webinar, I would like to say that NTAB is definitely contributing to empower educators by bringing them on a common platform. So kudos to all of you
Thank you so much, ma'am.
for collaborating and sharing such wonderful, beautiful ideas. And lastly, I would like to say that it's been a pleasure to be among such accomplished individuals and to be able to present my perspective on behalf of the Cambria International School before all of you. Thank you so much. Have a very good day ahead. Good evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable suggestions. And yes, we are working continuously, and TAB is working continuously to bring all the stakeholders on one platform. And we value your suggestions. Anita, ma'am, what would you like to suggest our viewers?
Yes, lockdown has indeed transformed education and has pushed us to the path of virtual classes. Although it's having a cascading effect, going online will be the trend henceforth, I feel. Students, teachers, and parents have become aware that it is doable. It is not just a teacher sitting in front of a camera and delivering lessons like they used to do before. The entire creativity and innovation in online education is the learning experience itself, and using technology will augment the experience. Learning something new can be such a joy. I remember learning a new skill while I was a child. I learned cycling. It was such a joyful thing for me that as educators, let's strive to make learning a joyful experience for our kids. I feel all teachers should blossom as compassionate, loving, and conscious human beings and ensure that the next generation we produce is at least one notch better than us. As I said before, and I wish to repeat, what is needed from a teacher is inspiration and guidance to find the best in each student. With that, I thank Team NTAP for inviting me on behalf of Aspire Residential Public School, Kochi, Kerala, and for sharing my views.
So
As
thank
Heena ma'am said, yes, NTAB is doing a fantastic job in bringing together educators from all over India and across the world. I also thank Miss Heena Falke ma'am for her inputs. It was great getting to know you, ma'am, and to learn from you. Thank you. Good
Thank
evening.
you. Same is
thank
the case, Miss Anita George. It was really nice to know you and learn so many new things from you as well. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much.
Thank you, our educators, for bringing in the spirit of communication. And to all our viewers who are watching, if you've not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click that button and hit the bell icon for more exciting episodes like this. Thank you for your valuable insights, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.